Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm going to be Jet or somebody like that. I'm going to be 30 in 2 weeks, man. Like, it might be a little late, but I feel like
What's the
I can
difference
still,
between a 12th to 18th place guy, as you call it, and a 6th to 10th place guy? What is the difference?
roll speed probably. Just um,
Connecting the
like
dots.
it's like, so I got to ride with Anderson some this past season, and it was like, I can do 90% of the track just as fast as he can. But like,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't ever slow down. Like, it's like the whole track is one motion, and it's fun to watch, and it almost looks effortless on their practice days because they're just putting in the time, right? And if I can figure out how to just, like, it's honestly a half a mile an hour everywhere. If you can go half a mile
Yeah.
an hour faster, you're gonna gain so much time. Um, so
Where does that
it's a
come
little
from?
bit. I don't know. It's a good question. I think some of it's confidence, right? And it's stupid to say this,
Yeah.
but like at that World Supercross, I was skimming the whoops really, really well. And then I got squirrely one lap, and then I went 2% slower. And then going slower trying to skim whoops doesn't make them easier. But that's not an easy mindset to like overcome. It's like, oh, hey, I'm hitting the cups, I'm getting sideways here and there. I'm going to slow down and be careful. No, you actually need to come in just a tick faster and get this much above the cup. And then you're going to keep driving forward. You're not going to get that step as bad. But like, that's not something that's like processes. Where like Jet, when you watch Jet, he has a moment in the whoops. The next lap, he doesn't come in slower. Like, he comes in faster because he knows that like if he comes in faster, he's going to get above the edges that he's hitting that makes him squirrely. Um, so it's
Scary.
just having the confidence to do it like do it better after something goes wrong rather than like take a step back and be safe. But then also just believing in yourself to do it.
I agree with the belief or the confidence. And then where does that come from?
So for me, and it's a big struggle with me because I butt heads with people about it, that are surround me sometimes. Um, but for me, it's like I gain confidence through repetition. And when I ride, I don't want to think. I want everything I do to basically be second nature. So like I can basically go out there and do it with my eyes closed. Not actually, because you have to look at the track and make quick decisions, but like when you drop something on the floor, right? You don't think, oh, I got to catch that and then catch it. Like, you start to drop something and you just lunge and catch it because it's second nature, right? Like, you don't want it to hit the ground, you try and catch it. Um, you know, a big thing I have an issue with is getting my knees back and like locking my knees and hinging at the hips properly in the whoops. And when I get nervous in the whoops, instead of doing that properly and like pushing my feet down and driving the rear tire into the whoop, I let my knee bend forward and thinking it's like going to control my bike more, and it doesn't. And the more I hit whoops, the more I do it, the better it is. But like if I don't ride for a week, week and a half, it's just like whoop right over my head. Got to relearn it. So yeah, for me, it's like if I could ride on Friday before every race, I would, because
Mm.
it's like a great warm up. It gets me in the mindset. It gets my body moving the way that it should. So for me, it's just repetition, man, knocking it out, being super consistent, doing as many laps as I can correctly.
I agree with the reps as well as far as confidence building. Would you say that you have less collective reps than a 6th to 12th place guy or most of the 6th to 12th place guys? And if so, why?
Not, not really. I mean, I think I, for the most part, do as much, if not more. I think I've cut back on the number of laps that I do over the past couple years because I was kind of overdoing it and then being fried on the weekends, especially getting older. Like, I'm trying to figuring out that travels wears on me a lot, so I can't do, 150 laps, fly to the race, and then, expect to last all day long and then be good at the end of the night. So, I do have smaller days, but I think it's more or less just like, especially in season, just getting out there doing correct laps, not just race laps. A lot of guys want to go to the track, do, I don't know, a warm up, five lappers, a moto, and then go home. Where it's like, I'd rather do a warm up, do a technique moto, some sprints, and then, if that's it, that's it. But, I have to do things correctly more often than not because for some reason my brain just doesn't lock in sometimes when I get to the races. So like if I can do it correctly as close to the race as possible when I get there, it's just going to be easy.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to send in your own video submission, you can join us in the Moto Academy family inside of the Moto Academy app by just going to themotoacademy.com. That's also where you can sign up for a class. Okay, guys, see you next episode.